I have an obsession with old devices that just so happen to run Windows. Seeing these machines with their weird and wacky form factors run this desktop class operating system always feels exciting to me. There's so much about these things that feel like the past, yet feel like the future at the exact same time. This HP EliteBook that we're looking at today may look pedestrian on the surface, but if you look a little bit closer at this machine, you can see that this thing has an insane amount of expandability and features. It has all sorts of little trinkets and doodads on it, and with enough attachments, you can turn the thickness from this all the way up to this. It's so ridiculous, but I absolutely love it. Let's take a look at this machine and see what an enterprise-grade nugget from the time looks like. But before we do that, we need to check out this video sponsor, Odoo. Are you currently struggling to manage your own small business? Well, today's video sponsor, Odoo, can help you out with that. Odoo is an all-in-one platform that allows you to manage your business simply and easily. Instead of managing your business with a random assortment of apps that may not work well together, Odoo is an all-in-one solution where all the apps are integrated together. Whether you're a small business or a large company, you can manage your sales, project management, inventory, and even create websites, and many more using Odoo's massive interconnected suite of apps. And because everything just seamlessly works well together, you'll be able to focus more on your business and less on the technical hurdles to get it all working, regardless if you're a technical expert or a first-time user. Still unsure? You can try out Odoo for free using their lifetime first free app offer with unlimited hosting and support. Yep, you heard me right. You get to use that first app for free forever. Well, don't you want to try out Odoo? Check them out using the link in the description below. Here comes the HP. This is the HP EliteBook 2730p. Nice name, HP. Let's take a closer look at this weird, interesting enterprise nugget from the 2000s. Right off the bat, this guy is a 2-in-1 laptop. I have covered something similar to this, a Windows XP version of this laptop if you want to check it out here, except the keyboard doesn't attach, it's permanently attached on this one. Basically, you can open the lid to be a normal laptop and then spin this around to turn it into a tablet. And this is pretty much how you had to do tablets back in the day. Tablets at this period of time were pretty much just shrunk down computers, compared to what we have now, which are blown up smartphones. This thing has so many weird goober trinkets and doodads on it. Let's just get right into it, honestly. Starting off on the left side, we have a pen. Look at that, it's an official HP pen. This is the pen that you need to control the touchscreen. Well, it isn't actually a touchscreen, it's a screen that you can use a stylus with. So you have to use it like this. Can't use your fingies. Your fingies ain't gonna work. Next to that, we have a vent, because old computers definitely need vents. Is this cracked? Oh my god, this is cracked. Gee, what has happened to this poor guy? This here is some type of express card slot. I don't have much experience at all with these kinds of ports, so I don't really know too much of the use cases for this, but it's there in case you needed it. Here we have a Wi-Fi switch for when you want to turn the internet on and off, which would be very handy on devices nowadays so we can go outside and touch grass. This right here is the info button. You press it to get information or something. Here we have a USB port, but with an extra hole there. It shows a USB icon with a plus. I don't really know what that extra hole's for. Moving to the front, we have a power switch, which is obvious. Next up, we have a latch because, yep, computers back then still used latches. HP kept using latches on their pro laptops for a very long time, and I really don't know why. And on this corner, we really get some of the weirdest trinkets and doodads on this computer. Pressing this button up here pops out a light. A little light pops out that shines onto your keyboard to illuminate it when it's dark, because most people weren't using backlit keyboards back then. And then when you want to close it, you just push it in. I'll show you it turned on once I turn on the machine. But it's not as goobery as this. What is this thing, huh? This is an antenna, so you can get better Wi-Fi signal. So you can just be sitting with your computer with its little antenna sticking out. It looks so much like the future and the past at the same time. I love it. On the right side, we have a mini Firewire port, a fingerprint scanner, headphone and microphone jacks separated, not together, an SD card slot, a USB port, and a Kensington lock port, and the model name. Think we're done yet? Oh no, there's more ports at the back. Here we have a jog dial to turn the volume up and down, which is very handy when it's in tablet mode. We have an escape button. You have a whole button on the side of the laptop just for escape. You have an Ethernet and phone line port. You've got a VGA port, the power plug, and then on this side, you have a button to rotate the screen and also a recessed Control-Alt-Delete button, which you access by taking out the pen and then pressing it with the pen so you can't accidentally Control-Alt-Delete while using the computer, which I think is just weird. I don't know. Let's have a look at the bottom of the computer. The entire bottom of this computer is covered in soft touch rubber. And I will say on this particular unit, this actually feels kind of nice because it hasn't disintegrated yet. So it feels nice and smooth, like how it would have been out of the factory. The battery is a different story. I had to rub all of this off because it was sticky, disgusting goop. This battery is by far the worst of the worst. If I grab this tissue here, we stick it on. Yeah, this is getting really bad. In case of this bit here, literally turning into liquid. We've sprayed some stuff on there and now all we can really do is just start to scrape all this gunk off. You know the sticky's bad when the eucalyptus spray ain't working and we gotta pull out the glitz. This stuff will get it off because I've had some really good success with this stuff, getting stickers off. There seems to be several layers to this. We've got the soft touch layer, the goopy oil layer, and then the base, which is just plastic. And that's what we're trying to cut through right now, and we're starting to make our way through. And there we have it. That is the clean battery. Apparently the glossy plastic is actually the bottom, and then this is just a hidden extra layer below the glossy. But the glossy is the bottom, there's no more sticky on here, and this is ready to go back onto the computer, fresh and ready to use. This here is a battery indicator to show how charged your laptop is, which is still insanely useful. I wish laptops still had these. And the battery is relatively simple to take out. You just push that, and out goes the battery. This battery was manufactured in 2011. Also on the bottom, we have a connector for a dock. You can plug this into a dock to get more ports. We also have another mysterious little hatch on the bottom. If we pull that down, we get another connector. What could this possibly be used for? I am pleased to announce that I actually have the accessories that go with this computer. Accessory number 1. What is this slab of black, sticky, disgusting goop? This, my friends, is an extra battery for the laptop. And no, this isn't just a tiny little module that gives you extra battery life. It's literally a new base for the whole computer. Look at this. Here's the computer. Here's the extra battery. This massive battery must be an insane capacity, right? 4,000 milliamp hours. It has less battery capacity than this phone. How crazy is that? This extra battery accessory has 2 plugs on it. It actually connects to the 2 plugs I showed you on the bottom of the laptop, which means that this little door here is actually to allow the second battery to connect. And this here just acts as a pass-through for the expansion port. Putting this on is fairly simple. You just need to match up the holes and the little hooks. Once that's hooked in, just push it on and lock it. It's not that easy to do, okay? Everything's sticky, everything's seized up. There we go, got it. You lock it in and boom, you've now added a second battery plus extra chonkiness to this computer. Just for comparison, here's the before, here's the after. And even though it doesn't add that much chunkiness to the laptop, the battery is very dense. It makes this computer feel insanely heavy. Just because, yeah, there's dense battery technology in here, and now this thing is kind of too heavy to use as a tablet. But the idea is that you want to use this as a laptop with that extra battery on there. Or you can just disregard all of that and use it as a stupidly heavy tablet, because why not? The government can't control you. And for just in case one battery indicator light wasn't enough for you, the expanded battery has its own indicator light on it. and it has some charge in it. Hell yeah. So that answers the question of what that port did. But what does this port do? It does this. This is an expansion dock for this laptop, and it adds a significant amount of ports to this computer. Look at that. It gives you some instructions on how to install the computer into the expansion base, as they call it. 1-year warranty. And there's all sorts of interesting little goodies on this thing. Here we have a VGA port, screws and everything, an Ethernet port, 4 USB ports. Computer makers, this is what we want. A shit ton of USB ports on our computers. Do it. We have an S-video port, which you don't see very often. These two ports here are audio in and audio out, according to the manual. It's different from the headphone and microphone ports, because I think these might be directly line in and line out, which is sick, but I cannot confirm. We have a power pass-through and a Kensington lock port, you know, in case you needed another one. You also have the mechanism to lock this onto the bottom of the computer and to also eject it, which you can see when I pull this. The latches go backwards and these two little feet pop up to help kick the computer out of the base. But that's not it. I left something out, because there is actually one more extra thing that this base can do. If we have a look at the left side, that's a DVD player. This expansion base that you put onto the bottom of your laptop has a DVD player in it. This was so hidden that it took me several days after I bought this computer to realize, wait, that's a DVD player. You just don't see manufacturers trying to come up with solutions like this anymore. This is some of the weirdest stuff I've seen. Even with the secondary battery base on the bottom of this computer, we can still put this expansion base on the bottom of it. You can see it has these massive feet that go into these holes, and that's what locks it into place, along with all these clips and stuff. And now that's locked in, and holy crap, is this thing chunky. Here's just a reminder of how thick the base laptop is. Look how much chunk we've added to it. We've literally doubled the thickness. Oh my god. But that's not it. This particular expansion port has one other little interesting thing about it. If we look underneath, what's this? Property of Hewlett-Packard demonstration unit. I don't think this is a prototype unit or anything like that, but if you know what this means, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I think this is super cool. And it's only this base that has it. My other one doesn't have it. Oh yeah, I have two of them. I have two bases, two computers, and one secondary battery base. Both of these laptops were sold to me running Windows 10, but I think that's kind of cringe, so I took one of these computers and I loaded Windows 7 onto it. Let's turn these guys on and see what we can do with these two chunky little machines. Also, can I just say, this has got to be the chunkiest tablet I've ever used. This is so heavy and borderline unusable as a tablet, it's like a workout. I honestly forgot which one of the two machines runs Windows 7, so we're just going to plug one in and see what we get. If I turn off the lights, you can see two very faint little LEDs shining from the expansion base, letting you know that it's charging and that it's plugged in, I guess. There are three main ways of controlling this computer. You can use the trackpad and buttons like a typical laptop of the time. You can use the ThinkPad style nub in the middle of the keyboard, which some people absolutely love. Or alternatively, yeah, this screen keeps hitting the power thing. It's maybe not the best design thing in the world. You can just pull out the pen and start using this to control your Windows experience. Remember, fingies do not work on this screen. This screen uses a Wacom digitizer, meaning that I can grab an S Pen out of a Galaxy Note or S series, and I can just use it on here perfectly fine, which is sick. No, the HP pen doesn't work on a Galaxy phone. I've tried it. For whatever reason, it doesn't work the other way. While we're still in Windows 10, let's have a look at the specs of this machine. That's right click, go to Task Manager. You can see that this thing here redraws a screen absolutely perfectly. No graphics issues whatsoever. Here we have an Intel Core 2 Duo, you know, pretty standard of the time. And then for memory, we have 4 gigs of DDR2 RAM, so that's not really fast, but you know, it was 2008, so it is what it is. Now I've got the other machine plugged in with the battery and expansion base tacked onto the bottom, making it just an absolute chunky hunk of computing. and let's turn it on. By the way, let's open the DVD drive. There we go. There's our starting Windows screen. That's the one I remember. That and the Windows XP one, of course. Windows 7 on an SSD is blazing fast. Like, it was just instant. I've turned out the lights just for a moment on this because there's one little detail about this machine that I absolutely love. Typically on laptop, the color of power indicators are usually white, blue, green, or just some other boring color. HP decided to go for this really beautiful teal, aqua, turquoise, whatever you want to call it, color for the lights, and it just looks so good. Especially with this Windows 7 background, it just matches perfectly. Just above the keyboard, there's a few more of these teal colored lights, and they look so damn beautiful. With these, you can actually control the volume just by sliding up and down. You can mute the volume and it turns a nice orange. And then you also have a little presenter mode here, which opens up this screen. Presentation settings. Very obviously, this computer is aimed at enterprise users where they need to be giving last minute presentations and all that kind of stuff. And if I change the volume, you can actually see that this little indicator pops up on the screen. It's not very responsive, but it's good enough. And same happens if I change the screen brightness as well. Alright, enough about the hardware, let's see what we can do with these laptops. And first things first, we're going to be doing some serious productivity on this computer with Office 2010. Why? Because this is a serious enterprise-grade business machine. This has got to be my favorite version of Microsoft Office simply because of how they treated the title bar in this. It's perfect. This is a typing test on the HP keyboard. The keyboard feels like any other average HP keyboard from the time. It's yeah, pretty bog standard to say the least. Oh, but hold on, what if you're typing in the dark? Let's see how well this light works. That actually lights up quite a bit. You know what? I will give it that. It's quite handy. If I turn the screen brightness down to something a bit more comfortable and then turn on the light, yeah, you know what? The keys are actually quite visible. And yeah, just for context, that's what it looks like. The light just shines out the bottom. But of course, we all know that you don't actually type out your own Word documents, you plagiarize them. But what did we do before we plagiarized with ChatGPT, where it added all the mistakes and inaccuracies into our document? Well, we went online to do that. Let's open up Firefox here because that still works perfectly fine on Windows 7. Let's go to HP. Let's search up HP on Google. Look at this, it's just a modern web browser working perfectly on Windows 7 on a Core 2 Duo. Why do you even need a modern machine? This works perfectly fine. Let's go to HP's Wikipedia page to get some information. When I was in primary school, I wouldn't actually type out my own assignments. Instead, I would go to Wikipedia and just copy everything. And now, let's paste it in Microsoft Word. How long does it take for the computer to plagiarize? It's actually a pretty good speed test. Try this now on your computer to see if it's faster or slower than this computer. Look at this, it detected all the navigation of the Wikipedia article and formatted it perfectly into Microsoft Word. Ah yes, controversies from HP. Interesting, blocking third-party ink cartridges? Sounds like HP to me. Disabling all-in-one printers? HP was sued over allegations that it designed its all-in-one printers to not perform scanning or faxing when they were low on ink. Sounds like HP to me. In 2019, How To Geek published an article reporting that HP remotely disabled ink cartridges when the user cancels their instant ink subscription. Sounds like HP to me. Unfortunately, it didn't copy any of the images. Well, it tried to, but it wasn't successful, unfortunately. Do you guys remember the green squiggles? I haven't seen the green squiggles in years. Bring them back, Microsoft. This also comes from that era of laptops where the side of the trackpad was a dedicated scrolling area, which I always found quite annoying when I was young, but to be fair, without being able to use two-finger swipes, this is pretty much as good as it got. Anyways, let's make a PowerPoint presentation. This was the last version of Microsoft Office to use 4x3 slides. Office 2013 would switch this to 16:9. It's been like that ever since. Although if we click on page setup, we can go into here and change it to 16:9 and boom, there we go. Now we're up to modern standards, but I'm pretty sure this screen isn't 16:9. Yeah, this is 16:10. But you know what? We've got that nice cinematic view. I like this image. Let's copy this one. Control V. Boom, we're computing. We're getting productive. Why don't the images work? It's trying to paste, but it's not working. Is this WebP? Oh, that's why, because it's WebP. Damn it. Okay, I have a solution for this. DuckDuckGo. I know DuckDuckGo uses less WebP images than Google Images does, so we should be safe in that regard. No, but it's still WebP. God damn it. Alright, fine. You want to play that game? Well, guess what? This supports screenshots. Boom, screen clipping. Let's do this. Oh yeah, look at that. Boom. Let's do this school presentation style, where the teachers would always stretch out the images. I think it's time for some pen computing. Let's draw, and immediately, ink tools. Boom. HP EliteBook 2730p. Wow, this actually looks kind of cool. I didn't want to make this actually look good. Damn, this kind of goes hard actually, not gonna lie. We have our marker. We can be like, it's this one right here. You can do that in your presentation. So imagine you're giving your presentation, you could be like, hey, it's this one right here. See? HP logo. Boom. And it'll actually show up while you're giving your very important business meeting. Very good compute. I like it. We're gonna need a chart. Let's insert a chart. Let's do one of them 3D cylinder charts. Why not? Oh, and here we go. Immediately, the screen splits in half and you get PowerPoint and Excel. So we can actually change the names of these categories. We can do HP, Lenovo, Dingus, and China. We could do Ribena, Bunnings Warehouse. We can also do Toyota Corolla. Frock for Duck, let's go. Please don't be a WebP file, or else I'm gonna throw you out. Ah, there we go, boom. It's actually canon that Frock for Duck is spelled with a lowercase f. That's just how it is, I'm sorry guys. I need to start inking. Here he is. Right there. We need to start adding some transitions into this. What is the one transition effect that everyone in primary school used? That's right, vortex. And every time someone pulled out one of those, the whole class would go, whoa! Here we go. This is my presentation on the HP EliteBook 2730. Hopefully you like my fancy transitions. So it's a very good computer because I like it. It helped me enterprise. Presentation on it with PowerPoint. Next. I have a graph of this, see? Here's my graph right here. Next up. Oh, look at that screen tearing. Next. Oh, I don't think I finished this one. Okay, enough productivity. It's now time for some media consumption. And for that, we're spinning this thing into a tablet. Here we are, let's tap onto YouTube. Now what happens when you want to type, but you got no keyboard, right? We're just in a tablet mode. We tap in here, we get this little icon. We open that up, and now we can actually write out what we want to type. So if we do frock, no. Here's what's actually good, if I do this, we can delete it. See, correcting, deleting, splitting, joining, lovely. Frock, nope. Frock for Duck. Do it. Yes! It did it! Thank you so much, Windows 7. What is this angled insert button? That is very cursed and you never see anything like it in Windows 7. I don't like this angled insert button. We're gonna insert it anyway. And here we are on the search for Frock for Duck on YouTube. Let's watch my video of the Windows XP version of this computer. Let's tap into here. Elderly and creative people alike. Well, the speakers are absolute hot garbage. If I use this jog wheel down on the bottom, we can actually increase the volume. Look at that. Whatever reason, it's showing up on YouTube and not the actual system. Wait, what the hell? Okay, so on a web page, using the jog wheel is scrolling the page up and down. Let's make sure our volume is all the way up. And we got to set this up to 1080p 60 frames, even though that's a higher resolution than this display can output. What's up guys, it's Frock for Duck. Tablet. It's not liking it. So it seems like this thing has one crappy little mono speaker in this corner. Sounds like garbage. It's just tinny as hell. It can't really play anything back at 1080p 60. Okay, what about 720 60? Give me my 60 frames at least, okay? There's a resolution that the screen can actually handle too.
Cry. Well, in my mind,
That's better. It's a full frames.
Phone, at least in the case of iOS and Android tablets.
As is tradition, we need to play staircase.wav to see how good the audio is. Wow, you can really hear those fans over the audio. No, don't play. Stop. That was complete garbage. The audio sucks. But it's an enterprise machine. It's not really meant for media consumption. Although I'm pretty sure people who spend a crap ton of money on a laptop also want it to play audio nicely, right? I mean, back in 2008, maybe people had different standards. I don't know. I was in primary school at the time. What do I know? Okay, next up, we're going to be doing some artistry. And to do that, I'm turning this thing into tablet mode. The pen is a little bit hard to get out. It is kind of stuck in there. It's actually really hard to get out. There we go. Slowly comes out, and it's finally free. And now we can immediately just start doing some pen computing. But what program are we going to be doing our artistry with? Of course, we got to start off with good old Microsoft Paint. It's pretty basic. It's just bog standard drawing, no pressure sensitivity, no nothing. It's just really good if you want to do some basic drawing. But I need something more advanced. I paid all this money for an enterprise grade nugget. What is a program I could use that's more advanced than MS Paint? On this computer, I've installed Adobe Photoshop CS6, the last good version of Photoshop. Now, I did say all the 7 Cs to get this version, and honestly, I don't really care about activation. Let's just begin. Look at this splash screen. They don't do it like this anymore. But we need some images to play around with. Let's go to Firefox. I want a picture of an ocean. No, it's not even close. Oh, there we go. Fair enough. It had me in the first half, but it got there in the end. Insert. And enter. Why do we have a picture of the ocean? Because I need this to describe how I got this version of Photoshop downloaded. There's a few ways to right click with a pen. You could either press this button and tap on the screen, or alternatively, you can press on the screen and hold, and it right clicks like that, which works perfectly fine. None of these ships look any good. Screw it, we're gonna draw our own. Let's go to the brush tool. Does pressure sensitivity work with this computer? Okay, we're going light, and now we're pressing hard. Yes! Pressure sensitivity works! I wish there was an easier undo redo button on here. View window history. And then we pop it in there. Yeah, we can do that. So that's our undo redo menu. Old school style. Let's go here, let's set our hardness higher, and let's do brush size like that. Let's create the vessel. This really is the old school way of doing Photoshop if you actually had the money to buy something like this. Let's not do anything too advanced. Let's just go here and create the bottom of the ship. This boat doesn't need to be super accurate. I just want to try drawing on here and seeing how it's like. If I right click here, will it let me change the thickness? No, it doesn't. What happens if I turn this around? It works! That's sick! Oh, hell yeah! What are these like? They usually have that, and they gotta have a little thing on top like that. Go out like that. While I could grab this already done transparent version of my profile picture, what I want to do is try removing the background on this image, on this version of Photoshop. So I figured out how to get the menu to change the brush thickness. You just press this button and change it that way. That's quite handy, actually. I mean, it works exactly like this in Photoshop today, so fair enough. Photoshop's barely changed. You could literally use CS6 and get 90% of the features of modern Photoshop. What's the point besides AI slot. Obviously needs a little bit of calibration. It's not insanely accurate, especially around the corners here. We're going to be doing this tool right here, which is the same as modern Photoshop. I remember trying Photoshop CS2 out for the Windows XP version of this, and that version felt quite different. CS6 is literally just modern Photoshop. There is nothing different about CS6 compared to what we have now. We might run into an issue here. I can't really right click. Oh, hold on. You right click like that? What? Why is everything so inconsistent? At least that's working somewhat consistently now. I need to add this little eye in. Yep, right click, make layer via cut. And I swear that this selection tool works so much better in CS6 than modern Photoshop. They've done something to it and it works like complete garbage. Okay, not perfect. He's a little bit bold, but hey, it's fine, I guess. Let's delete that layer. If I hold it upside down like this, then press the button, will this let me adjust the eraser layer? And then I want to group these two together. We can create a folder, group you, and we need to zoom in. I'm gonna have to use the zoom tool like an absolute peasant. Yeah, screw it, that works just fine. And then we need to give this guy a little eye patch. And screw it, a pirate's hat too. Is that how you draw a pirate's hat? I don't know. Let's look it up. Pirate hat. It's all one word, but we can split it like that. Beautiful. This is running really well. Why would you even need a modern computer? This is literally doing Photoshop and web browsing without even lagging. It's a Core 2 Duo with 4 gigs of RAM. Why is this running so well? Oh, okay, it's like that. I mean, I got kind of close, I guess. No, I got nowhere near. Let's erase all of that, I guess. I'm so glad I can just use this back bit as an eraser. That's so good. I know I could fill this in with like a paint bucket tool, but I don't really care, to be honest. It's just a quick little doodle. Reduce the size, get some red in there, and we'll grab the little bandana. Boom, there we go. I don't know if he looks like a pirate or if he just looks French. I really don't know at this point. We really got one of them Goomba light bulb looking ones. Look, I had a whole class in university where I had to draw skeletons and I did a good job then, but right now I don't really care. Wow, look at the thickness of them bones. That's like a femur bone right there. This one's gonna look even worse and I really, really don't care at the moment. Yeah, literally X. A few little dots there to make some detail. That actually looks a little bit better, I think, than the large one. This one looks like crap. Don't look at this one. But wait, I haven't collected the treasure yet. CS6. Nope. CS. Nope. CS6. Sometimes it fixes itself up. Yes, it does. Icon. Okay, so it seems like you just have to trust the process. You just have to keep writing and most of the time it just fixes itself, which is good, I guess, but it throws you off a little bit. Okay, CS6 icon, tap that. Okay, now it's starting to slow down a little bit. It's still pretty good though for a computer of this age. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna erase part of the image. Then it looks like it's underwater. Hey, look at that. That actually looks great. Look at that. That looks great, actually. I like how this looks. Everything else looks like crap. Just don't think about it too hard. And then we'll draw a very simple little connecty thing to connect this together. Yeah, sure, you know what? It's white. And boom, this here is the true story of how I collected this version of Photoshop for this video. It's so meta, everyone. Excuse me, where's my writing keyboard? Oh, if we do that, and then we tap on there. Yes, okay, that's a little workaround for when it don't want to work. Look at it slowly disappear when I move the cursor away from it a little bit. Oop, 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 oop. Let's do YAR. Perfect. So let's press enter. No compression, no interlacing. Good. Okay, it's exporting. It's done. I really like how the shadow looked. Maybe I should have done this more straight, but also they're waves, so whatever. This is not calibrated properly. Look at this. It's just freaking out. For whatever reason, the calibration of the screen goes all wild down here. Look at that. It's not even close. It's good here, and then lags behind here, and then catches up at the bottom. Huh? Either way, that's our picture created in Photoshop CS6, the last good version of Adobe Photoshop. Beautiful. And it just runs well. I have my modern web browser open, I got Photoshop open, and I'm doing stuff. You don't need a modern computer. But of course, we are forgetting the most important part of this computer, the built-in games, because it's Windows 7, the last version to have this. Love that card flapping sound. And now commences the next several hours of my life. You know, let's take out all the suits and just play with this. Surely I'm gonna last very long like this, hey? Watch this, I can do this, and then it's just gonna complain. There we go. Boom, done. And before we finish, there's one more thing that we need to look at. This is a lot easier on Windows 10, but we're going to go into here, HP webcam. Back in these days, you needed special programs to access your webcam. And look at that, there I am on the webcam. We can change the quality to 1600 by 1200, holy crap. You got that fancy teal looking LED light. Oh, look at that. God damn, that's really laggy, but very high resolution. Look at my pipe screensaver on my desktop over there. Hell yeah. Look at these icons. You do not see icons like these anymore. Let's press the camera button, and then we press save, and then we have to specify every time where to save it. Lovely. This is the Windows 7 era. Jeez. I have to name it? Are you actually kidding me? 1. Is it going to do an I, L, or 1? Who knows? It's an L. Sure. File saved! Wow, it's so happy! Look at how much my face distorts when I move the camera up and down. What if we do 160 by 120? Also, I'm sure me moving the camera up and down has made for some really good memes in my Discord server. You should join it. Wow, I am barely visible on here. That is kind of hilarious, actually. Let's go back to 1600 by 1200 because that's an insane resolution for a webcam back in this day. Alright, you ready? Let's press video. Let's record a video. Yo, what's up, guys? It's Frogforduck from frogforduck.com coming at you today with a review of the iPhone 3GS. The iPhone 3GS is a significant improvement from the iPhone 3G in terms of speed and capability. It's really good and very nice, and I like it. Very awesome sauce. If you enjoyed this review of the iPhone 3GS, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and check out all my other videos and share it with your friends. And don't forget to check out
frogforduck.com for more phone reviews.
Yep. 2008 webcam standards. It was a thing. It's a little bit better than I expected for 2008 webcam quality, but maybe it's just the fact that it never really progressed much beyond this point, until very recently. And there we have it. That is the HP EliteBook 2730p. I honestly really like these weird 2-in-1 devices from the time. They're so limited and so clunky, especially when you add on all the extra layers. Like, watch what happens when I close this. Boom. Chunky. There's just something special about using Windows 7 using a pen interface, even in the modern age. We have devices now that are fully touch or fully pen integrated, but something about the way that Windows 7 just shoehorns it in just kind of feels futuristic and retro at the same time. But nowadays, if you want a similar tablet, pen, Windows experience like this, you'll just simply buy something like this. A Surface Pro / Surface Go. Definitely a lot more sleek and thinner than this guy ever was. And these two devices were only about a decade apart from each other. It's crazy how fast technology moved and how little it's progressed since. My name is Frogforduck. You can set it however you want, I really don't care. New videos whenever I like. Consider becoming a channel member like all these people on the screen have. You get some bonus videos, early access to my upcoming videos, custom Discord server roles, and your very own Minecraft server, all rolled into one. Starts at $1 a month, and that's about it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.